you know, you you put a little bit of money of them into them, and they make like big profits. Well, today we'll be going through 10 movies that had small budgets but insane profits back. So first we start with Joker. I personally loved this movie. The movie only had a budget of $55 million. It's supposed to say was over here. This most superhero movies have budgets of like $200 million. This is $55 million. Profits, it grossed over $1 billion. Held a very big record for a while for the highest grossing R-rated movie. It's my personal favorite. Just look at this domestic opening. This is already almost twice its budget. It's already almost a profit in its opening weekend. I think it broke. I think like the highest October opening, beating Venom's record the previous year. And besides, it was a massive Oscar winner, Best Picture nominee, one of the greatest films of all time. I included it as one of the greatest films of all time. Then we have Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle. Over this weekend, I was able to find it free, so I watched it over the weekend. The film only had a budget of $90 million. Which is not too much. It doesn't need really much, like a massive amount of profit. And I think that even the original Jumanji, which was I think was a flop, did something similar to this. I have no idea what the first one did. Well, it made $962 million. Just look over here, and it at that very nice $962 million. It's in the 100 highest grossing films ever. Actually, more like 70, I think. Then we have Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King. This film broke like several records. We'll go through some of them. So first, it had a budget of $94 million, which is not much. It needs like maybe $180 million to profit. The past Lord of the Rings movies made like $800 million, $900 million, which already it's like 10 times this budget. Although probably if it was today, probably if we adjusted for inflation, it's gonna be higher. But it grossed $1.1 billion. Not only was it a massive financial success, also it set critical records too. For example, it is tied with Ben-Hur and Titanic for the movie with the most Oscars. It won 11 Oscars, including Best Picture. Then we have Spider-Man: Far From Home. I know it's kind of surprising. It's not a massive budget. The movie had a budget of around $160 million, which you might be saying, hey, that's a big budget. But I mean, it's not a massive budget. Most superhero movies are $200 million. The average superhero movie, so this is less than that. And I'm surprised because maybe because of those monster effects. Well, anyway, the movie made $1.1 billion, and for 2 years it held the title of the highest grossing Spider-Man movie. But then later, it was dethroned by Spider-Man, No Way Home. The movie at the time also entered the top 10 highest grossing superhero movies of all time. Today is number 11, right behind Aquaman and right ahead of Captain Marvel. I know, massive success. Then we have Top Gun: Maverick from last year. The movie had a budget of 170 to 177 million. So it'd need about let me think. About 340 to 350 million dollars to profit. And it grossed almost 1.5 billion dollars. The movie had at the time the highest Memorial Day opening ever, and it was only dethroned this Memorial Day when Lilo and Stitch sadly dethroned it. I've never seen Top Gun: Maverick, so I can't say sadly. 177. What was this? Yeah. Most people say it saved cinema because I don't think anyone thought Top Gun: Maverick would be a success. And at the time, and before there was like pandemic, so even though Spider-Man: No Way Home before it beat it, this movie really was a big surprise to everyone how successful it was. And I think it won like multiple. No, I know it won at least one Oscar. Then we have Mission Impossible Fallout. This movie has this movie most people consider the greatest Mission Impossible movie. I haven't seen it. I hope I can see it soon. The movie had a budget of 178 million, which is much less compared to the most expensive Mission Impossible movies like Dead Reckoning's 290 million and Final Reckoning's 400 million, literally. It's also the highest grossing film in the franchise. It grossed $791 million. Although I think this year they had a re-release in some foreign markets, and it made like 32 million. So it should be like 800 something million. Also the film has a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. It has a higher score than The Godfather, and I haven't seen it, but a lot of people consider The Godfather the greatest film of all time. I mean, I haven't seen it, so I can't judge. Then we have The Dark Knight. Again, I love this movie. Amazing movie. The movie had a budget of $185 million. Probably be more because this was in 2008, so we gotta remember inflation is a thing. Prices always increase for some reason. And grossed $1.1 billion. At the time, no superhero movies didn't really do well. I mean, that year, we had Iron Man, which was successful. We did have Iron Man release, but usually before there were like those DC movies, but they didn't really do well. There was the Batman Begins, but even that, it didn't do too well at the box office. I think it made like only 400, maybe a little less than $400 million. So, this was really like a turning point because then, it was a successful movie. Dark Knight really showed that superhero movies aren't just made for kids and that adults can actually like them. And, well, most people consider it one of the greatest films of all time. I'm part of that group. Let's see. Then we have Dune Part 2. Now this one I was arguing if it should be on the list cuz it doesn't have a massive profit like the others on this list, but it still has a pretty big profit. So I want to talk about it. This is my favorite one on the list. So the movie was made on a budget of 190 million. And it grossed $714 million worldwide. So a movie needs to make about, statistically, it needs to make about twice its budget to be considered a profit. So, let's do some math. So 190 times 2 equals 380. Equals 380. So then, if you do the math, 714 minus 380, that's like, let me think, 714 minus 380, $334 million, in profit. Now, that's not including marketing costs, but still, that's a massive profit. And it's a movie that deserved it. A movie that deserved Best Picture. Academy, I hope you're taking notes. Maybe you should redo the Oscars and not have a Nora win. Academy, you should be taking notes. Then we have Furious 7. I've never seen the Fast and the Furious franchise, but people love the Fast and the Furious franchise. It's just a money-maker at this point. Furious 7 grossed $1.5 billion. That's already in the top 15 all time. And it had a budget of $190 million, around the same thing as Dune 2. I'm sorry, $1.5 million, or billion, sorry, not million, $1 billion is crazy. And it was one of the fastest films to reach $1 billion. I think they had to leave time to add this other extra $500 million. I know this is by far the highest grossing film in the Furious franchise. I think the closest thing is Fast 8 or Fate of the Furious, which is like 1.2 billion. this is by far the highest grossing. It's also the highest grossing movie for some pretty big actors, like Jason Statham's highest grossing movie. I think he's in the movie. Dwayne Johnson's highest grossing movie. Vin Diesel highest gross. Well, no, that's Infinity. That's Endgame, or or whatever Avengers movie he's in. I think. So sorry, I forgot that. Not Vin Diesel. Forgot about it. Next, lastly, the last movie of these 10, Transformers: Dark of the Moon. This is I could have picked any Transformers movie except Rise of the Beast. Or almost any Transformers movie. Especially the first trilogy, but Dark of the Moon, I want to pick it because it's the highest grossing. The movie had a budget of $195 million. It's kind of surprisingly high because I thought these movies were supposed to be were supposed to be B movies, just cash money makers. And the movie grossed $1.1 billion worldwide. No, I think it's in the top 40 of all time. It was the second highest grossing film of 2011, the year it released, only behind Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, which is in the top 20 of all time. So, lucky Transformers. It's also the highest grossing film in the franchise. And the franchise has some big grossing films, like Age of Extinction made $1 billion. Revenge of the Fallen made close to 900 million. Or I think more like 850 or something. Transformers made 700 million. The Last Night made 600 million, and Rise of the Beast made 450. Anyway. Oh yeah. So if I do my math right, then let's just assume it's $200 million. Actually, it needed about $390 million to break even. This is a lot bigger than $390 million. I'm like, I think it did 5 times its budget. Yeah, it says 5 times its budget. It's crazy. Okay, guys. That'll be all for today's video. Drop down in the comments other movies that had small budgets but were massive successes. I wanted to include like the things like Paranormal Activity, and like Blair Witch Project. I wanted to include those, but I think the other movies on these lists have overall more profits because like the Blair Witch movies. The Blair Witch Project and the Paranormal Activity movies have like $200 million profits. These have a lot bigger, like this, 110, like about $900 million. 110, like almost 800 million. Almost like close to 900 million. Other like higher budgets. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, drop down in the comments others I missed. There were some I wanted to include, but I just didn't get to including them. I can't wait to see you in my next video. Check out my channel for more content like this, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Like I said, bye.